Welcome back to Winners and Losers, everybody, the show that looks at the highs and lows from around world football this weekend. I'm Joe, and as ever, I'm joined by Patrick.
And our first winners this week has to be Claudio Ranieri and his army of foxes. Leicester City secured the title. What an amazing season they've had.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. No wonder the city as a whole was going absolutely mental. We saw Christian Fuchs pouring champagne all over Ranieri's head, and rightly so. It's been an unbelievable season for Leicester. And I'm going to make a bold claim here. I think it's the greatest accomplishment in the history of sport.
It is unbelievable, and they've also set kind of new boundaries for what teams are capable of, teams in the middle of the table. Wes Morgan is the first Jamaican to win the Premier League title. Riyad Mahrez the first Algerian. Wes Morgan's actually the first non-European captain to lift the Premier League trophy. Andy King, the first player to win League One, the Championship, and the Premier League, and he was man of the match against Everton the other day. It's been an unbelievable squad effort.
Yeah, you touched on Everton a little bit there, though. I mean, they got absolutely romped at the weekend yet again. Roberto Martinez is an absolute disgrace. We've been calling him out for weeks on this show. And let's put it into context. In the last two games, they've conceded 70. Yeah, 70 shots. How does that happen?
Well, by having a terrible defence, obviously. I mean, it's a pretty simple equation. But let's not take anything away from Leicester. They have been unbelievable. Jamie Vardy has now equalled Gary Lineker's record of 24 goals in a top-flight campaign. And Claudio Ranieri, it's impossible not to love the guy. We all feel pretty good for him.
But what we want to know from you guys at home is it the greatest accomplishment in the history of sport, or is it not quite there? Let us know in the comments below. Our first losers of the weekend are Manchester City, who drew 2-2 with Arsenal. Not a great day for Pellegrini, Pat.
And not a great day for defence, or midfield, or really anybody. It was kind of a really disjointed match. I thought that the defences were all over the shop, but City took the lead twice with two great goals, actually. And they led Arsenal back into it. Arsenal did play some very good stuff in the second half, but realistically, this is a game they should have won, and now they might get pipped for fourth by Manchester United.
Very exciting for me as a United fan, but we have got that tough trip to the Bowling Ground. West Ham's last ever one there, so it's going to be a very, very tough fixture. But also, it gets even worse for City, doesn't it? It was a terrible performance and result against Madrid midweek, and now Pep Guardiola coming in shaky ground.
Well, yeah, you wonder about the squad situation. They've got a pretty old squad. A bunch of those players are signed up for really long contracts, so they may find that that's a bit of a money hole, and he needs to sign a lot of players this summer, I think.
He really does. And also the news that Vincent Kompany may be out into the start of next season after having surgery on a torn thigh muscle, according to the Belgian physio. Ugly scenes for Guardiola. But what we want to know from you guys at home is, who do they need to sign? Let us know in the comments below.
Our next winners of the weekend are PSV Eindhoven, who wrapped up the Eredivisie title on the final day with an away win at Petsvolle.
Yeah, what a run in it's been too. Unbelievable for PSV, although Ajax bottled it a little bit, went 1-0 up against the Graafschap, who are actually second bottom and in a relegation playoff, and then threw it away, drew 1-0. That takes nothing away from Philip Cocu's men. It's been a great few months since Christmas, really.
It really has. Since Christmas break, they've picked up 46 points in the league. That equals the Eredivisie record. And in the last 6 games, they've won every one and scored 20. That's since they lost 2-0 at home to Ajax, and it looked like it was all over.
Yeah, amazing. Some of their players, especially Luke de Jong, get his name out there. 26 goals this season. Only Mattia Kesman in 2002-2003 has scored more. It's unbelievable for them, especially after losing Wijnaldum in the summer, losing Memphis Depay in the summer. Those two players almost carried them to last season's title. So Luke de Jong taking up the mantle. Great few months.
And things could get worse for Ajax, as it looks like they might lose their manager, with Frank de Boer now the favourite to pick up the Everton job. But let's not take the focus off PSV. We send a hearty congratulations to Philip Cocu, the entire squad and all the fans.
Our next losers have caused a bit of controversy at Football Daily HQ this weekend. I've selected Atletico Madrid, Pau.
I think that is mental. Atletico Madrid had a great week. Okay, they had a bad result. They lost to bottom of the table Levante at the weekend. But before that, they knocked Bayern Munich out of the Champions League semi-finals. They've gone to a second Champions League final in 3 years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, there is an element of truth in that. I kind of agree that it was a great result against Bayern Munich, but now they're only fighting on one front. If Diego Simeone wants to establish himself and Atletico Atleti as a European superpower, you need to be able to fight on multiple fronts. He should have had a bigger squad size if he's going to use that excuse to rest players like Godin and Griezmann. The players replacing them should have been better.
But he's still got an enormous financial deficit in comparison to the big clubs in La Liga. He rested Griezmann and Godin. I think the biggest problem that came out of the Levante game is the fact he had to bring on Griezmann at half-time and he didn't get a proper rest. That's a real worry. But I tell you what, if they win the Champions League this year, their fans will not care about them chucking away this game.
Yeah, but they could still win no silverware at all if they lose the Champions League final to Real Madrid, so it's going to be tense for Diego Simeone. But what we want to know from you guys at home is, who do you agree with? Do you agree with Pat or do you agree with me? Let us know in the comments.
Our third winners of the weekend are Sunderland. They beat Chelsea 3-2 as Newcastle could only draw with Villa and Norwich lost to Man United. They now look like favourites to stay up.
Yeah, they need just 2 points from their last 2 games against Everton and Watford to stay up, and it's Big Sam who's done it again. Seems to keep every team he goes to up, never been relegated from the Premier League, so a big hats off to Big Sam.
And hats off to Jermaine Defoe as well, who's been truly decisive this season. 15 of Sunderland's 40 league goals have come from him. That's 37.5%. And 14 of Sunderland's 35 points a direct result of Defoe.
Yeah, Jermaine Defoe might have 18 goals in all competitions this season, but their next top scorer only has 5. It's not really good enough in the long term for Sunderland. And you think about it, they seem to do it every year, don't they? Advocat before Allardyce, they had Poyet and Akanio all just scraped into the Premier League status. But what do they need to do next season to avoid being in the same position? Let us know in the comments. Our final loser isn't a player, it isn't a team, and it isn't a manager, Pat. It's Euro 2016.
Well, now, thanks to a bunch of injuries, we're going to miss some of these players appearing on the international stage. We've got Vincent Kompany, Kurt Zouma, Marquisio, Verratti, Gundogan, and Benzema, though he might take some of the blame for missing out himself.
Yeah, it's not the only international tournament happening this summer, of course. Copa America just around the corner, and we know how badly that burns out players too.
And we've got the Olympics as well, but we've seen people like Alexis Sanchez and Lionel Messi struggle with recurrent injuries, and it would be a real pity if some of the stars of European football miss part of next campaign.
But which team is going to be affected the most at the championship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
But we had to give a final shout out to some of the weekend's other big winners. Bayern Munich secured the Bundesliga title.
Yeah, Celtic won their 5th league title in a row.
And Burnley and Middlesbrough have now secured promotion to the Premier League. But who did we leave out? Those are our winners and losers. Who are yours? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you check out everything you need to know about Neymar playing on screen right now. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Catch you next time.